Ladies and gentlemen, the rise of virtual reality, my friends, is not merely a technological advancement. It is a reflection of a deeper universal truth that has always been within us. What is virtual reality, after all, but an extension of the power we have to shape and reshape our perception of the world around us? The world we perceive, the world we live in, is not an external creation. It is a manifestation of our inner world. And just as we are now creating entire realities through devices and screens, so too have we been creating the reality we experience every day with the power of our own minds. Imagine for a moment, if you will, stepping into a world not bound by physical limitations, a world where anything is possible, where time and space bend to your will. This is not science fiction. This is not something reserved for a future yet to be realized. This is the power we already hold within ourselves. Virtual reality is but an external mirror of what we have been doing internally all along. We are entering an era where the lines between the inner and the outer worlds are becoming increasingly blurred. With virtual reality, we are learning how to control and shape the environments around us. We are learning how to inhabit worlds that are not made of matter, but of imagination. And the most profound thing about this is that, in reality, the worlds we create with our minds are no different. The only difference is that we are now creating them with the help of technology. Yet the question must be asked, if we can create entire worlds with our imagination, what does this say about the world we experience every day? If the virtual worlds we create through technology are capable of evoking emotions, of creating experiences that feel as real as the physical world, does it not suggest that our physical reality is not as fixed and objective as we have been led to believe? In truth, what we call the physical world is in many ways a product of our collective imagination. It is a manifestation of the thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions we hold to be true. Just as we can step into a virtual reality and experience a new world, so too can we step into a new version of the world we live in by changing the images, feelings, and beliefs we entertain within our own minds. Every person, every individual is an artist, creating their own masterpiece, sculpting their own reality with the tools of thought and feeling. Just as a designer shapes the virtual landscapes of a digital world, so too does each person shape their experiences, their environment, and the course of their life. The only difference is that in the realm of the mind, there are no limits, no constraints of time or space, no boundaries. There is only imagination. Virtual reality is teaching us this profound lesson. It is teaching us that we are not bound by the laws of the physical world. We are not confined to the limits of the body. The mind is limitless. And as we begin to see this truth reflected in the virtual worlds we create, we begin to understand the immense power we have always had to create the world we desire. But what does this mean for our lives? What does it mean for the way we approach our goals, our dreams, our desires? It means that we must learn to see the world not as something that happens to us, but as something we are creating with every thought, with every feeling, with every belief. It means that the world around us, no matter how it may appear in the moment, is not fixed, it is not permanent. It is malleable, changeable, and it responds to the inner world we carry within us. Think of the times in your life when you have faced challenges, when the external world seemed to be against you. What was the source of that struggle? Was it not the inner world, the thoughts, the fears, the doubts that were shaping your experience? When you believe that something is impossible, when you feel trapped by circumstances, you are creating a reality in which those things are true. But just as easily, just as powerfully, you can shift your focus, change your inner world, and create a new experience. And this is where virtual reality becomes so powerful. It is a reminder that we are not bound by what we see with our physical eyes. The worlds we experience in virtual reality feel real because we bring them to life with our senses, our emotions, and our beliefs. And this is precisely how the physical world operates. The world we see is a reflection of the images and feelings we entertain within ourselves. It is a mirror reflecting back to us the thoughts we hold to be true. This is why the rise of virtual reality is so significant. It is not just about gaming or entertainment or technology. It is about consciousness. It is about the realization that we are not passive observers of life. We are creators. The virtual world is merely an external representation of the inner world, and as we learn to master this external tool, we are simultaneously learning to master the inner tool of our mind. There is power in this realization. It is a power that has always been within us, but it is one that many have yet to understand. Virtual reality is showing us the way. It is reminding us that the worlds we experience, the lives we live, are not dictated by external circumstances. They are not determined by fate. They are created by the thoughts, beliefs, and feelings we choose to entertain. In this moment, you have the ability to step into a new world, a world of possibility, a world where your dreams are not just fantasies, but realities waiting to be manifested. The rise of virtual reality is an invitation to remember the power you have always had to shape your life. Just as you can step into a virtual world and experience a new reality, you can step into a new version of your life by changing the way you see the world. The key to creating this new reality lies in the imagination. Just as a virtual world is brought to life through the power of imagination and technology, so too can your world be brought to life through the power of your imagination. The images you hold in your mind are the blueprint for your life. The emotions you feel are the energy that brings those images to life. It is time to understand that you are the creator of your reality. You are the one who shapes the world you live in. And just as the rise of virtual reality is showing us how we can create entire worlds with technology, so too are we learning that we can create our own lives with the power of our thoughts and feelings. The world is not something that happens to you. It is something that you create. And as you begin to understand this truth, you will realize that the possibilities are limitless. The future of virtual reality is not just about technology. It is about consciousness. It is about awakening to the truth of who you are and the immense power you have to create the life you desire. Virtual reality is a tool, but it is not the source of your power. The source of your power lies within you, in your imagination, in your ability to feel and believe in a new reality. The rise of virtual reality stands as a profound illustration of the power of technology to shape our experiences, both physical and psychological. Over the past few decades, VR has evolved from a concept largely relegated to science fiction to a technology that is rapidly influencing multiple industries, ranging from entertainment to healthcare to education and beyond. As VR technology becomes more advanced and accessible, it offers us a unique opportunity to explore and understand the nature of reality itself and how we perceive and interact with the world around us. Virtual reality, in its simplest form, refers to a simulated experience that can be similar to or completely different from the real world. The immersive nature of VR involves using a computer-generated environment in which a person can interact with objects or scenery as though they were real. Users typically wear a VR headset that tracks their movements, giving them a sense of presence within the virtual environment. This immersive experience, combined with the sensory input provided by the headset, has the potential to alter the user's perception of reality, blurring the lines between what is real and what is imagined. What is most fascinating about VR is its ability to replicate human experience in a way that challenges our understanding of what constitutes reality. We often think of reality as a fixed set of conditions, something that exists outside of us, independent of our perceptions or desires. However, as we engage with virtual environments, it becomes increasingly clear that reality is much more fluid and subjective than we typically recognize. In a virtual world, a person can visit distant locations, interact with others, or experience scenarios that would be physically impossible in the real world. This ability to manipulate time, space, and context raises the question, if we can create worlds that feel real, does this challenge the way we perceive our own lived experience? In the traditional view of the world, reality is defined by the physical universe and governed by laws of physics and biology. Yet, when we immerse ourselves in a virtual environment, those physical laws cease to apply in the same way. Gravity may be altered, physical boundaries may be stretched, and the very concept of time can bend to fit the needs of the narrative. The most striking part of this experience is that, while these elements are entirely artificial, they can still invoke powerful emotional responses from the user. A person playing a virtual reality game might feel fear, joy, or even a sense of loss when engaging with an entirely fictional environment. These reactions remind us that our perception of reality is far more subjective and malleable than we typically acknowledge. The psychological impact of VR is particularly noteworthy. The immersive nature of virtual environments can trigger real physiological reactions in the body. A person experiencing a VR simulation in which they are walking across a narrow ledge will feel their heart rate rise, despite the fact that they are physically safe in a room. This is because their mind is processing the experience as though it were real. Similarly, in VR games or simulations, users may feel as though they are genuinely interacting with their environment, causing them to engage their emotions, thoughts, and bodies in ways they would not otherwise. The sensation of presence, feeling as though one is truly inside the virtual world, becomes so powerful that it is often difficult to distinguish between what is happening within the VR experience and what is taking place in the physical world. In conclusion, the rise of virtual reality represents a monumental shift in our understanding of both technology and reality itself. It has moved beyond being a mere tool of entertainment, evolving into a transformative force that challenges our perceptions, enhances our creativity, and expands the possibilities of human experience. VR allows us to transcend the limitations of the physical world, offering new avenues for exploration, learning, and emotional growth. It highlights the malleability of reality, showing us that what we perceive is not fixed, but shaped by our consciousness and beliefs. Whether in the fields of education, therapy, or entertainment, VR invites us to step into new worlds, explore alternative perspectives, and connect with others in ways previously unimaginable. However, as we embrace these possibilities, it is essential to approach VR with an awareness of its ethical implications, ensuring that it serves to enhance rather than isolate or harm our well-being. As this technology continues to evolve, so too must our understanding of how it shapes and influences our perception of reality. Ultimately, virtual reality stands as a testament to the boundless